chaos is bad for all of us, bad for us as adults, and very, very bad for children. In our music study, we give children a consistent experience. And I think the reason the brain capitalizes on that is it's kind of fun to predict the future, even for little babies.
Yeah.
And so the notion that you know what's going to come and you can anticipate it, again, that's a part of play. There's a predictive routine or a predictive pattern, and there's a surprise at the end, whether it's peekaboo or whether it's the third beat of a waltz. And so brains that have consistency, consistent experiences through many domains, it enhances, I think it builds that attentional network, and it's all about attention. The inability to attend is a real problem for children in school and for adults who can't attend. So now put yourself in the situation of a chaotic family. I mean true chaos, toxic stress, where maybe the only predictable pattern is that you're going to get hit at some point, but you can't predict when. Or you're going to be ignored at some point, but you can't predict when. So this sense that the attention networks would not have that security and that playful nature of predicting the future, predictive coding as the artificial intelligence people refer to it, but more that the fear centers of the brain, that amygdala and other centers of the brain that worry a lot about what's going to happen next, not the safety of being able to predict and have the pleasure of knowing what's coming next and realizing you were right, but that you have no idea ever and what you expect is going to happen is not good. And so part of why toxic stress is bad may not only be because it destroys trust and social emotional relationships, which I think are critical to cognition, but that the very chaotic nature of experience doesn't build that attention muscle up in prefrontal cortex. It doesn't give you those variants of executive function. It doesn't help you to structure your world. And so it's a new way of trying to get concrete about what does toxic stress do. We can all have the impression that it's not good. We can all have the impression that it does something. But what exactly does it do? What does it prevent from getting built up? And I think it is this dual thing. It's this lack of trust that can form under positive social bonding circumstances. And it's this cognitive effect that fails to let attention networks believe in a world that's predictable. Maybe those networks just come to guide themselves based on there's no order in this world. There's only chaos, and there's a lot of fear. That's a completely different system that's being built. I think the brain is built to try and understand the world, and understanding it often has to do with predicting it, trying to understand what are the ways in which this culture behaves. So I think even a child who has a terrible situation at home could find order and security and prediction of good patterns in the world in some other relationship, some place, some person, some individual who lends themselves to an understanding on the child's part. It is a rational world. It is a sensible interaction. I can engage. This person is engaged with me, so I must be worthy of this relationship, of this engagement. So I'm going to follow that. I think our brains do seek information that gives us pleasure. I think both social, emotional things give us pleasure, music gives us pleasure, but cognition gives us pleasure. And so this notion of understanding our world and then wanting to explore and push the boundaries out is something that we can encourage in every single child, no matter what their upbringing happens to have been.